Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Muhammad Iqra Firman, and on this occasion I will explain my answer for the assignment regarding the perspective of language in psycholinguistics based on the material I have studied. So first, let's discuss language in linguistic perspective. So based on my understanding, the linguistic perspective focus on the question, what is language? So the focus is on the structure and components that form the language system itself. This perspective examines the formal tools that a person must master to use a language correctly, which include several core areas such as phonology or the science of sounds, morphology for word formation, syntax for sentence construction, semantics, which discusses meaning, and pragmatics, which studies how language is used in a social context. In a sense, linguistics takes language into its part to understand its rules and properties as a system. Next, language is a psycholinguistic perspective. So from this point of view, the question shifts from what is language to how do we use language. According to what I have read, psycholinguistics investigates the mental processes and cognitive mechanisms involved when we use language. It's not just about knowing the rules, but about how the human mind applies this rule in real time. Psycholinguistics explains that there are two types of knowledge involvement. Tacit knowledge, which is the substantial knowledge we use to speak and listen, and explicit knowledge, which is the conscious knowledge of how the language process occurs. The main focus in psycholinguistics, as I have learned, is divided into three key areas: language production, perceptions, and acquisition. Now, let's delve into these three areas. The first is language production. Based on what I have read, language production is a series of processes to produce a trace which transforms an intention or idea in the mind into an audible speech. This process has three main stages. The first stage is conceptualization, where we form an intention or message in our mind. This stage is driven by our semantic knowledge. The second stage is formulation, where the abstract concept is translated into a linguistic form by choosing the right words and arranging them according to grammar, which heavily relies on syntactical knowledge. The final stage is articulation, where the linguistic plan is executed by the speech organ to produce sound. This stage is governed by phonological knowledge. The opposite of production is language perception, which is essentially the same as language comprehension. This process starts with receiving auditory input or sound, then interpreting to understand that meaning. It also has several stages. First, the perception stage, where our mind receives sound input and divides into smaller units like phonemes. Next is the word recognition stage, where the sound units are measured with words stored in our mental lexicon. And after that, there's the parsing stage, where the recognized words are arranged into grammatical structure to understand the relationship between words in a sentence. And the final stage is interpretation, where the overall meaning of the utterance is constructed by integrating all information, both linguistic and contextual, to achieve full comprehension. The third area is language acquisition, which is the process of how a person obtains the ability to use language. It's important to distinguish between acquisition and learning. According to what I have read, language acquisition is a natural and acquisition process, like when children master their native language. Meanwhile, language learning is a conscious and formal process, like in school. In children, this acquisition process goes through predictable stage, starting from the queen stage, babbling, and the one-word stage, the two-word stage, up to the telegraphic stage, where they begin to form longer sentences. Finally, let's discuss the similarities and difference between these three language use processes. The similarity is that all three are complex cognitive processes that occur in the mind and that all depend on the same system of linguistic knowledge, such as phonology, syntax, and semantics. The three are also closely related. Perception provides the input for acquisition, and acquisition builds the system needed for production and perception. Meanwhile, the differences lies in the direction of information flow. Production is the output process from idea to speech. Perception is the input process from speech to idea, and acquisition is a developmental process which is about building the knowledge system itself over time. The main goal of each is also different. Production is for expression, perception is for understanding, and acquisition is for gaining the ability to use a language. Of course, the steps involved in each process are also specific and different from one another. That's it from my explanation. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.